If he wants to do it right, he should scrape the drift on that side to let the water that comes from the top go down on that side there. Interesting start to our walk this morning. This is a bit different, isn't it? We were looking at the road here saying that this has clearly just been geskraap, and I do love watching this being raked like this. There's a channel that I watch quite regularly on where they do the roads in Turkey, and I think it's quite cool. The surrounding areas of the roads that they create there are absolutely stunning. I'd love to have that job. No, it's interesting. This is probably to open up the road to the old dam again. What a nice piece of road. Today we're going to be doing something entirely different and go up with one of the rivers instead of down. We've already done about 3 kilometers, and I thought I'd make my first recording when it becomes a little bit more spectacular. We're used to going down rivers, but we decided we want to go up one of them and see what we stumble upon. There's apparently another waterfall that we'd like to go and see. So come along with us. We were just chatting about the different channels on YouTube with the different hiking, and I wish I could remember this one where they go hiking on what is that part? Nevada, in Nevada. This guy and his friend, and they go up rocks, and they also go. Thing is, what we want to do today is something totally informal again. We go off the beaten trail today. There's no formal trail where we're going, and then also once we want to get out of the river, there's not going to be any formal trail to go back up to the road at the top. So it's going to be some interesting bushwhacking again. That's why it's normally only Elma and myself when we do this. Nobody else ever, in fact I'm not aware of anybody else that would be willing to do it. Bushwhacking that we're going to be doing today. Kom op, kom. Sommer daar oor gaan. This has been our destination today, getting here to this waterfall. It's like a, call it a triple little waterfall, one of those places nobody knows about. Got a waterfall at the top, then arguably the most spectacular one here at the bottom, comes down and runs into that kloof there. I've had to go through the water to be able to get here. So this has been very similar to the Kaimans, having to come up through the water there up to this part. We wanted to climb up to the top. We wanted to get up to the top part and come around to avoid this water here. We just see if this water is off the lens here. Hopefully there's not water on the lens. To see if we could avoid having to come through the water. But boy, it's stiff up there. It's very, very vertical, pretty dangerous. So I said, no, I'm not going any further up there. I'm coming down and going through the water. And it looks like he's also decided on it now. So I'm waiting for him to see him here at the water. Okay, brief explanation of what's been happening over the past half an hour or so. Elmer wanted to go up at a particular spot. I started going up there and I said to him no. Came down again. I said to him, I'm not going up there. Just feels a little bit too dangerous for my liking. I'm fairly kansvatterish kind of people, like they say in Afrikaans, but I wasn't. So anyway, I went back down, and even going back down is fairly witty, fairly dangerous, going back down to the water. So then I said to him, he can carry on trying to go up there, but I'm going back down and I'm going to swim. I'm going into the water to swim upstream, which is what I then did. And that water, I didn't record anything there, but that water was actually very strong. That current was fairly strong, but I made it. So then he realized he's not going to make his uphill, that sharp uphill that he opted for. So he also ended up going to the water back down, but he couldn't go up. The current was a little bit too strong for him. This is how I understand from the bit that we've been talking, from the bit that I could pick up from shouting and screaming at each other, that he didn't make it up that current. So now he's decided to turn back and head back to Pepsi in the water, and now I'm already on top, and I've been going, boy, some of these branches are full of thorns, man. Watch out for them. Sorry about the camera shaking like this. I hate these thorns. So anyway, I said to him, I'm going to go parallel at the top, and he can go down back with the water. But boy, have these branches been tough, trying to go back parallel in the woods at the top. So now I'm finally opting to see if I can get back into the water as well. He's probably made more inroads than me by going back down in the water. Now we've got a million thorns here to get through. Yeah. Just as well I came down to the water. And also glad I managed to, when I got to the river, it was penetrable immediately. I didn't have to go back up and come back down to another place to be able to enter. And of course there's Elmer waiting for me, if you can spot him on the other side of the Pepsi pools there. So I just know that this is always slippery, but this is the place where people come up if they want to, although the majority spend their time down there at the pools. I think I'll just come down this one here again, slide on my backside if I have to. I'm very willing to do that. Yes, definitely faster over the rocks than going up through, what's its name, through the bushes. Those bushes are thick, seriously thick. See if we can go over here. Somebody's at least made this here for us. My maatjie vir 'n praatjie. My maatjie vir 'n praatjie. Toe kon jy dit nie maak by daai storm op nie. Dit was dit sterk vir jou.
Ja. Okay. Ja, maar ek het gekry dit. Ek kry so afpad toe by die waterfall bo is.
Ja?
Ek het die bos op van ek af gestuur toe. En ek het toe daar op een boom vastgemaakt en toe gaan ek so aan water toe.
Wou jy nie bo aangegaan het nie, of het jy nie ver genoeg opgegaan nie? Daar waar jy die tou vastgemaak het jy verder opgegaan daar op jou einde?
Nee, ek het bietjie afgebok.
Ja, toe sien ek jou onder.
Nee. Toe gaan ek bietjie op. Nou waar jy kry daar afvat waar die waterval bo is, ons gaan 'n keer afgekom het.
Ja.
Ek het dit gesien.
Ja.
Ons gaan 'n keer afgekom. En ek sê ek op gaan. Gaan ek afgestuur toe. Die tou gebruik om my boomval te maak en my so laat afsak.
Ja.
En toe ek al onder by die water kom te kry, is ek al in die water.
Ah.
Maar dit is 'n tree so hoog wat nou waar jy ek en jy mekaar het is, nou waar jy hierdie water is op.
Ja. Wonderful. Lost my hat. Second time I lose my hat in a river. The one was in the Caimans and the other one is here now. So I went up, Elmo waited for me. I went up fairly far, all the way up the rocks, and then on the side of the rocks into the bundus again, but obviously not far enough through the bundus because I've got no idea, absolutely no idea. I can't recall where the last place was that I had it on. So that's now for another day, coming to look for that and maybe devote an entire day for that, through thick bushes, thick bundu bashing, to hopefully find it. And very demoralizing if I don't in the end then, but we'll see. We are a few 100 meters from the end. I actually put my smartwatch on for the last 3 kilometers before the end, just to see, because I'm so used to putting it on when it comes to running in the afternoons, but I don't think I've ever put it on when measuring hiking, just to see how many calories in the last 3 kilometers. Today was different. Up sitting at a particular spot where I wasn't sure up or down. No, I definitely can't go up, gonna have to go down, back down, and going back down was also tricky. It's often more tricky than going up, but once I was down back in the river, then heading back up and going for a swim through the river to get higher, and then from there going up once I'd made some ground with the river. Anyway, that's what made today very different. Thanks a lot for joining. Hope you like this. Not the most dangerous spots on camera because I needed both my hands there, but still, hopefully you have an idea. Stay subscribed, get a subscriber to click on that like button if you like, that will help the algorithms, and leave a comment if you like. This is South Africa, this is the south coast, this is Outeniqua Mountain. see you soon. And I haven't made my mind up with the next one, but we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.